So it's going to be Roach, the unlucky Roach. He's had a catch dropped off his bowling, an LBW shout not given, that would have been out. Here's Coley defending to cover. It's no run.
WestIndies will be disappointed. I'm sure it was a clear plan to bowl that fifth line at Virat Kohli. He's been dismissed so many times over the span of his career in that fashion. I'm sure they would have planned and worked towards getting him to edge the ball, just drawing him across to the offside. They will be disappointed. They couldn't fully execute.
Here is Roach. Bowling to Kohli. It's wide of the off stump, but he gets nicely forward, plays it out into the covers, and Jadeja responds to Kohli's call, and they make a comfortable single in the end. Kohli moves on to 76, Jadeja there with him on 22.
Those big singles I was just alluding to. No surprise when these two are batting together.
So Roach is going to go round the wicket to the left-handed Jadeja. One thing I've noticed about Roach, when he bowls round the wicket to the left-hander, he runs on an angle, and then at the last minute he gets very close to the stumps and straightens. So that LBW shout against Jaiswal yesterday, I think that's why it was, he doesn't have the natural angle that so many bowlers do when they bowl round the wicket. Here's Jadeja getting forward. So he gets very close to the stumps for a right armour going around the wicket. I've not really seen that before. It's a very, very skillful thing to do.
It is. Very often when right-handers are going around the wicket, they tend to deliver the ball from quite wide.
Yeah.
But then that's why the ball is so often angled down to the side.
Yeah, you think of someone like Stuart Broad. He goes very wide on the crease when he's bowling around the wicket. Here's Roach. And it's a good leave by Jadeja, quite close to the off stump.
I'm able to believe how that one didn't take the off stump. A very good leave by Jadeja.
Let's have a look at the replay here. How close was this? I can't really see from that angle.
Let's see about that.
But based on Roach's reaction, I think it must have been pretty close.
Sometimes bowlers do that just to make you think it was closer than it really was.
Yeah.
I think that the next one.
Here's Roach. Round the wicket to Jadeja. It's a short of a length delivery. He's playing from the crease, back down the wicket, and there's no run.
Roach has bowled much better lengths today as opposed to yesterday. Yesterday he was a bit too full on occasions. This time he's found the right length to bowl on this wicket, on this surface.
Just looking at the replay there was a bit of movement off the pitch there. Came into to Jadeja from its original line. Here's Roach once more. That's a short ball. Jadeja looks to pull that away but doesn't time it. Just trickles out to mid-wicket, and that's the end of the over. So the India lead is 255. The score is 405 for 4. That's the latest here from Windsor Park. So just going back to your situation, so there's a tour coming up of Australia.
Yeah, an important tour. WestIndies women just won against Ireland. Obviously, Australia #1 in the world, defending champions. So it's going to be tough to take on Australia in their conditions as well. We hope that WestIndies can take the confidence from winning that series against Ireland over to that and at least be competitive. They will be hoping to upset Australia as well. See England beating Australia in a few games recently.
Here's Cornwall starting a new over, bowling to Kohli. It's outside the line of off stump. He gets across and defends it. There's no run. Oh, it's gone. Well done. Cornwall delivers one on the line of leg stump. Kohli looks to whip it away. and he hits it straight to Alec Athanase at leg slip. He took a sharp chance, and Cornwall gets his man. So no real punishment there for West Indies. Coley is just working that off his hip and hit it straight to leg slip. Very sharp chance there, taken by Athanase. And Cornwall, the big man, gets a wicket with in his second over of the day.
All of 8 deliveries to make a real impact. This is exactly why West Indies needed him to go today. 7-6 runs, and able to make that second. West Indies make another big, important break. The sharp catch by Alec Athanase at leg slip. And again, he's involved in another wicket. Another crucial moment for West Indies. That brings Kishan into back on the test debut. Big moment for him.
Yeah, that was a very sharp chance. It was just slightly to his right, but it's not like it was like a one that lobbed up or anything. It was right off the face of the bat and beautifully taken. So we're just seeing Kishan's first class career on the screen here. He's played 49 matches, a best of 273. He averages 38.77. Of course, he's been part of the Indian limited overs side for a while now. He's got a double 100 against Bangladesh. Now, very sharp chance, really well taken by Athanase, who continues his fantastic debut. Can't put a foot wrong.
Shining light for West Indies. He's always in the action.
This next ball to Kishan is defended.
It's quite funny that Kishan is averaging 38 and everyone from India is saying they're underwhelming stats. We don't have many guys averaging 38 in our first class competition.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I mean, 38, that average of batting at number 7 is not too bad. I mean, this Cornwall bowls another one, beats the outside edge of Kishan and there's no run. I mean, you get Adam Gilchrist's come along every now and again, averaging close to 50, batting at 7, but 38 is pretty handy. Here's Kishan beaten this time by Cornwall. So excellent over by Rakeem Cornwall. That's a wicket maiden. It's 405 for 5. That's the latest here from Windsor Park.
Reading at Cornwall being available all yesterday to West Indies. He really did miss it.
Yeah.
Important, he is making an impact now that he's available again.
Well, even on the first day as well, he went off with about an hour to go from memory. But what's your opinion on that? There's the rule that he wasn't allowed to bowl this morning. Do you think that's a good rule or not?
I think it's an interesting rule. Whether it's good or bad, I'm not sure. Here's
Roach bowling to Jadeja, and it's defended up to mid-off, and there's no run. No. What do you mean by interesting?
I think it just stops players, bowlers in particular, from being able to go off and put your feet up for absolutely no reason, and just expect them to come back on when they think they can have a real impact. It's interesting from that side. Still don't know if it's good or bad.
Here's Roach once more, and Jadeja's driving this one into the covers. He can't pierce the field, but he does have time to get through for a single. Takes him further on. What's he on now, Jadeja? He's on 23. I just feel in that case, I mean, he had a chest infection. I think if he came back, with a doctor's certificate or something, he should be allowed to bowl. I just don't understand. It just seems unfair. It's not his fault.
Perhaps the reason is that we actually found out at the end of yesterday that it wasn't a chest infection. He's just suffering from the flu. So maybe they've decided that's not enough.
Oh, I see. Okay. Here is Roach bowling to Kishan, the new batsman, and it's defended. There's no run. Oh right, okay.
Thinking the flu maybe isn't enough.
Well then now this is going to get a little bit more interesting. If it was just the flu, was that enough to go off the field actually?
He certainly felt like it was enough.
Yeah.
As though he couldn't carry on.
Here is Roach bowling to Kishan, and it's defended into the covers where Reefer does the fielding, and there's no run. Yeah, I mean, if it's a really nasty dose of the flu, it must be horrible being out on a hot field and having to concentrate on your bowling and that.
It's quite hot out there. We saw he was drenched in sweat.
Yes.
By the time he went off before lunch yesterday, couldn't have been easy.
Here's Roach once more, bowling to Kishan. It's a short ball. Didn't really get up, but Kishan saw it well and swayed out of the way, and it actually bounced in front of Joshua De Silva. So, not a lot of carry there. Anyway, whatever the case, I suppose I'm not necessarily focusing on the Cornwall situation, but yeah, I just don't really like that rule. Here is Roach bowling to Kishan. It's defensively forward. And there's no run. That is the end of the over. Just one run from it. And India now 406 for 5. That's the latest from Windsor Park. Now, I just
Gittins Home and Garden Centre, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Centre for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Centre, from your farm to your backyard.
beautifully played by Jadeja, and that takes him on to 27.
The shirt and white from Raheem Cornwall. The gift offered up to Jadeja. Takes it. Futile chase by Raymond Reefer. Couldn't prevent him from getting the boundary.
Here's Cornwall. Bowling to Jadeja. That one's on the line of leg stump. Covering the spin and playing it into the ground, and there's no run.
That's where the area Cornwall will be looking to group his deliveries.
Oh, that hit him in the glove actually. Here is Cornwall, and he's Jadeja sweeps. Blackwood races around. It's probably the quickest man in the West Indies side, and Jadeja has time to get back for two.
Easily the quickest. But that sweet shot is one I think you see from Jadeja, especially if the ball turning away, is just tends to go to that quite often to smother the spin.
Here's Cornwall to Jadeja, short again, and once again he cuts, this time in front of square. There's a man out there on the boundary now, that's Reefer, and he restricts the scoring to 1. Jadeja moves on to 30.
Continue with long off, even though Kishan is quite new.
Oh, this next one from Cornwall bounces and beats the outside edge of Kishan's bat.
I think that ball pitched around leg stump. Nice pun prodigiously.
Bounced as well, yeah. And this one once again, Kishan is playing it off on the back foot. That is the end of the over. Cornwall's 14th. He's got 1 for 31, and India now are 4-1-3 for 5. That's the latest at Windsor Park. Yeah, I don't really understand why they put that man out. And the only thing I can think of is they leave it open to give Kishan a single so he can get down the other end for Roach. It's about the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that man was placed there from the time he faced his first ball. I don't see the reason for it, and I think it's a very hard man to find with the ball bouncing and turning as it is.
Yeah.
If he manages to do it, then kudos to you, Ishan Kishan, but I'm asking him to hit me over the top.
Here's Roach bowling to Jadeja on 30, and Jadeja's forward to a ball on the line of leg stump, plays it into mid wicket where Chandapal picks up, and there's no run.
Roach has been pretty steady since that lunch interval. He's bowling good areas. He's constantly been bowling wicket to wicket. Just in behavior on 20s, but his control has stood up.
There's Roach once more, and Jadeja looks to play, and then at the last minute decides not to play, and Roach staring down at him. I think that one is a little bit wider of off stump, Kima. But, a bit of mind games going on here.
Good result being shown by Jadeja so far. Roach is just pleading with him, just play at the ball, please. Hoping to take the edge.
Can't believe how much people are talking online about these new Indian shirts. It's unbelievable. It's just a shirt. Here's Roach bowling to Jadeja. He plays it up to mid-off where Joseph does the fielding, and there's no runs.
People are always so caught up with the traditional style, traditional wear in Test cricket.
I guess the question is at what point does it become coloured clothing? You know?
It's slowly getting closer to that,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Long ago, you never would have seen the numbers on the shirts. That obviously no, because of the World Test Championship.
Here's Roach bowling to Jadeja. He leaves that one alone out offside off stump. There's no run. I tell you what I do think about with players' shirt numbers. I mean, you know, now I'm pretty familiar with most of the players, but commentators back in the day with no shirt numbers, no monitor, I mean, it must have been so hard.
Yeah, I always wonder how they managed to do it.
Yeah.
Keep track of who's who. And from out here, everyone looks alike.
Yeah, I mean, there's two tall, like I get confused with Holder and Joseph. They're both tall guys, although Holder's wearing a different hat today. Here's Roach. Once again, Jadeja leaves it alone outside off stump. And there's no run.
I'm sure commentators back then had to have made a few errors. Perhaps calling Roach Atanaz. I'm never quite sure if you can't see the numbers, so I think it helps. I welcome it.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about radio, though, is it's very forgiving. I mean, I had to pop back to the hotel at lunchtime to give my girlfriend the bank card because I forgot to leave it this morning. And I went past a barber's shop, you know. So the guy in the barber shop, if you call the player wrong, he's not really going to care or know. Unless he watches on TV at night and say, hold on, that guy said that guy caught it. Here's Roach once again. And once more, Jadeja lets that one go through to the keeper. And there's no run. So at the end of the 149th over, India are 413 for 5. That's the latest at Windsor Park. Actually, I had a howler on air earlier. You know when Roach got Rahane caught his first ball, I hadn't realised there was a bowling change, so I called it was Joseph. And Seba had to remind me, hold on, that was... Yeah. Well, that was the other thing too, back, you know, like growing up in New Zealand, you had typically one commentator who would do the whole day, but they would change from ground, sometimes at this ground, sometimes at that ground. And they had to score on it as well. They had to keep the score. Here's Cornwall bowling to Kishan, and that's outside off stump. He leaves it alone, and there's no run.
Each profession does have its own challenges. Can't imagine commentating the entire day.
Here is Cornwall, and Kishan is forward to a full-length delivery, and there's no run. Yeah, and that's the other thing. If it was raining at one venue, then you're going to have to end up doing more commentary yourself. Here's Cornwall bowling to Kishan. He defends, picked up by Chanderpaul in close, and there's no run. Or if one game's more exciting, the other one's like just going for a boring draw. Yeah.
Had to be tough.
And of course you didn't have like apps to get food delivered and stuff like that. I'm really bigging these guys up, aren't I?
You are.
There's Cornwall bowling to Kishan, and that one's a little bit shorter. Bounces, but it doesn't turn, and Kishan just defends to Chanderpaul, the man under the helmet at Silly Point. Cornwall again. This time Kishan's forward, defending. That's the end of the over. It's a maiden from Rakeem Cornwall. India now 403 for 5. That is the latest at Windsor Park.
16 deliveries and Kishan yet to get home more.
Well, this is such a mouthful, isn't it? Cycle Pure Agabathi Test Match powered by Yes Bank.
I was remember practicing that for about 2 days.
Well, yesterday I was looking at that Yes Bank sign. I was like, are my eyes deceiving me? And then I realised it was written in Hindi.
I hadn't noticed until you pointed it out.
Yeah, I just couldn't work out what it said. Here is Roach bowling to Jadeja. This one nipped back slightly, may have hit him in the thigh pad actually. And it just dribbled out on the offside, and there's no run. The Roach causing a few problems here. He's, yeah, that came back. Oh no, he hit it onto, it was an inside edge onto his pad.
It did still come back though. Normally he angles the ball into the left-hander from around the wicket and then shape it away. But this spell, he's gotten quite a few to either run on straight or come back to the left-hander.
Yeah, it's getting some movement off this placid pitch. It's impressive by Roach. Here he is again. That one kept a little bit low to Jadeja. It was a short ball, but just didn't bounce as much as he was expecting. But he managed to defend it, and he's still there on 30.
Roach asking lots of questions. Again, that ball coming back in.
Yeah. It's getting quite a bit of movement actually. Leg cutters, I guess you'd call them. It's all to do with this line he's bowling. I've mentioned a couple of times now. Here is Roach. So he gets very close to the stumps, and then the ball comes back. So Jadeja could be an LBW candidate here if he can continue this momentum and have the ball nipping back into Jadeja.
An expired spell of bowling so far. The question is, how much longer can he go in this heat?
Well, that's the thing. The fast bowlers have bowled very short spells in this game. Here's Roach bowling to Jadeja, who drives very elegantly through the offside, through extra cover and out to the boundary for 4. He moves on to 34. But that's really been the first ball that Roach has bowled that's been drivable. He pitched that one a bit further up, just wide of off stump. That was a flowing cover drive from Ravindra Jadeja.
Just a mistake on Roach's part. I don't think he was looking to bowl that full. He'd been causing problems from back of the length. Just creeping up too full for Jadeja. Easy pickings for him.
Here's Roach. Bowling to Jadeja. That one's wide of the crease, but Jadeja not tempted this time. Wide of the stumps, I should say. And through to Joshua De Silva, and there's no run. So just one ball left in the spell. Thank you very much again, Shakira, for coming in and having a fun conversation, getting into some interesting subjects. It'll be Andy Carter to replace me, and Lockhart Sebastian to replace you after this delivery from Kemar Roach. He comes in now, bowls to Jadeja. It's on the line of leg stump. He just plays that into the leg side. Is it a leg by? No, it's not a leg by. So one further run to the Jadeja. So he moves to 35, and India are 418 for 5. That's the latest from Windsor Park.
Through mentorship and guidance, let us provide support to those who may feel lost or tempted by the wrong path. Remember, conflict resolution is key. Instead of resorting to violence, let us learn to communicate effectively, to listen, and to find common ground. Together, we can create a Grenada where our dreams can flourish and our talents can shine. This message was brought to you by the New National Party, your voice in shaping the future of Grenada.
Bowled Cornwall for 76, he struck 5 fours and he faced 182 balls. We have a small lull in play as I welcome back once again Lockhart Sebastian.
Yeah, good afternoon, Andy. Since lunch, we've seen Coley depart, caught by leg slip of Rakim Cornwall, was up the field for most of yesterday. Andy seemed to be much better today. Obviously, he had to wait until a certain amount of time before he could bowl, because as we know, he was out of the field for most of yesterday. But picked up the important wicket of Virat Kohli. The Indians now lead by 268 runs.
Yes, we saw Kohli dropped after lunch of the bowling of Kemar Roach, dropped by the wicketkeeper. Here is a sweep there by Jadeja. The crowd roars. There's an eruption. The ball lobs there to slip where Holder catches the ball, but no bat involved. Jadeja on 35. India for 18 for 5. And Kishan yet to score. He has faced 16 balls so far and yet to get off the mark.
Cornwall has bowled very well, and Carter he's bowled well in this inning.
Cornwall from the Botanic Gardens end. Goes the delivery outside the off stump. The batsman is playing this one to deep cover and will get an easy run. One more to Jadeja, 36 he is, and Ishan Kishan, the debutant, yet to score. India lead by 269 runs. So Cornwall will bowl to Kishan. 2 slips and a silly mid-off. Pushes it forward. Shandapal is there under the helmet at silly mid-off, and there is no run. Crowd has built up considerably, and in anticipation of the West Indies second innings. Here is a delivery outside the off stump, moving further away. Batsman not forced to play, and he allows it to go through to the wicketkeeper.
And by West Indian cricketing standards, this is a big crowd, Andy. Over the last 5 years, we've had this in crowds at test matches in the Caribbean.
And the delivery there from Cornwall plays it back to the bowler. The over comes to an end. Cornwall completes his 16th over, 1 for 32 his figures reads, and India 419 for 5 the latest score here at Windsor Park.
And Dominican really is the place for cricket, and over the years we Dominican people have come out to mostly support the West Indies. We saw last year big crowds against Bangladesh. The first match here, I think it was Zimbabwe, played, good crowd, Australia. Everybody that's come in there 2011. So Dominicans have generally come out, and as I just said, by West Indian cricketing standard, this crowd we're seeing there is a big crowd, because when you look at matches over the Caribbean in the last 2 or 3 years, most grounds have been empty, and Dominicans have come out. We probably 3,000, Andy?
And we'll see many more turning out as the game progresses. With the West Indies will bat sometime later today. I dare say, I'm not too
Maybe
sure.
after tea, I mean, India will definitely have a lead of over 300 by tea time. I don't see them batting. Maybe they probably bat an hour after tea and declare set West Indies with a lead of 330, 340, you don't know. But it's going to be an uphill task for the West Indies when they have to bat the second inning, because it's not going to be fun batting against Jadeja and Ashwin at the Windsor Park Stadium this afternoon into tomorrow.
Regardless of what happens, I believe that the crowd will turn out. They will come to see the West Indies bat, and especially Alec Afanal. Here is delivery there from Alzari Joseph. The batsman Jadeja plays it on the offside, sets up for a run, gets it in the end quite easily. He moves on to a 37, and India now 420 for 5.
And the West Indians have been in the field since after tea on the first day, Andy, on Wednesday? Yes, and I remember saying to you off here that I remember us played Combined Islands against Jamaica, and Jamaica bowled us out just after lunch on the first day after Barrett. You remember him bowling leg spin, and we were in the field from after lunch on Friday up to Sunday. Maurice Foster scored 170 yards. Herbert Chang made Lawrence Rowe. I remember that clearly in Jamaica at Sabina Park.
Joseph runs away from us, bows to Kishan, gets a delivery which he turns it neatly off his hip down to long leg. Warwican is there, and Ishan Kishan gets off the mark.
After 20 balls, he's faced 20 balls before getting off the mark.
And it seems that they have declared.
Is that it?
You can see the batsmen running off the field.
Oh, yeah.
So 421 for 5. No one saw it coming.
I think they surprised us, Andy.
Jadeja not out on 37 of 82 balls. Ishan Kishan, 1 run of 21 deliveries or 20? 20 deliveries for his solitary run, and India declaring 421 for 5, just about 21 minutes after 1 o'clock on the third day.
I think they've caught all of us off guard, Andy. I didn't see that coming. In fact, the way the Indians were batting, you didn't think they were going to declare. And the thing now is 271, they have enough that they can bowl out the West Indies, but that has caught me by surprise. And I think most people, even the West Indies, were caught by surprise. Nobody saw that coming, Andy.
So the scorecard reads: Jaiswal 171, Rohit 103, Gill 6, Kohli 76, Rahane 3, Jadeja not out 37, Ishan Kishan not out 1. India declaring at 421 for 5. Roach had 1 for 50 of his 24. Alzari Joseph 1 for 80 of 18.2. Cornwall 1 for 32 of his 16. Warwican 1 for 106 of his 45. Holder did not take a wicket. The only other wicket taker, Afanal, bowled 16 overs, 1 for 53. Brathwaite bowled 9 overs, none for 21. And India declaring so 421 for the loss of 5 wickets, an overall lead of 271 lockets.
Yes, but as I say, that's caught everybody by surprise. I didn't see that coming. I mean, normally when a team is going to declare, Andy, you'll see batsmen really going berserk, hitting balls over the top. But the Indians, I think they caught the West Indies by surprise because they were just pushing the ball around. They've declared the West Indian batsmen now have to go out and really fight on after when they go out to bat. The openers, we want to see a good start. Even if they by the close of play, West Indies 100 without loss, nobody would worry about that. But the West Indians have to put up a fight. I'm sure Dominicans don't want, and West Indians, by and large, we wouldn't want to see the West Indies capitulate this afternoon. It's a fight. West Indies, we have to show some mettle. The captain has to lead from the front. He must go out there with young Shandapol, Andy, who hasn't scored runs for a while in Test match cricket since he made his debut in Australia. So we want to see the West Indians. I said all West Indians are hoping that the West Indian team can batten and maybe bat until tomorrow evening, Andy.
Yes, indeed, you're very correct about that. And the West Indians generally, they have a passion. You hear them talk about the West Indies team when they're not doing too well, but on a whole, they are deep inside. They want the West Indies team to do well. And if West Indies could come out here and replicate something like what happened in 2011 when Shivnaran Chandapal made 116 not out and Cook Edwards made 110, and they assisted the West Indies in earning a draw. The West Indian fans, the Dominican fans, they will be very pleased, they will be happy today to put up a fight, not lose many wickets this afternoon, and tomorrow, being Saturday, the government workers not working on Saturday, we expect to see a bumper crowd here at Windsor Park, providing that the West Indies do well this afternoon.
Well, as I say, if West Indies 100 without loss or 120 by the close of play, we will surely see close to a full house tomorrow. 100 without loss, but surely West Indies 100 for 5 or 6, probably the ground will be empty tomorrow. We are definitely not. But from a West Indies point of view, Andy, we are hoping that we will see a fight today and this afternoon into tomorrow. Batsmen will go out and fight. We don't want to see people giving away their wickets. It's about time our West Indian players show Caribbean people what they're worth. We haven't seen that for a while. We went to South Africa, we were easily beaten. We went to Australia last year, we were beaten. We didn't do very well in the World Cup. Now is the time, guys, to go out there and fight for Caribbean people.
Yes, and you mentioned that they can take a leaf off the book of what how Jaiswal batted. They should be cognizant of that fact that he batted, he played every ball to its merit together with Roach Sharma, and they need to exercise that sort of discipline in their approach this afternoon.
In fact, Joshua batted for almost 400 balls. He batted from Friday, 2 hours after tea. He batted an entire day yesterday. So Joshua would have batted for over 500 minutes. And that's what we want to see, application and dedication, good temperament. We know Craig Brathwaite can do that. He surely can do it. Shandapal as well. We saw that in Zimbabwe where Craig got a double century. It was Shandapal who got a double century. Craig Brathwaite got 180 yards. So we want to see a fight out there. As I showed, they have shown that before. Now is the time that West Indies team must go out and show Caribbean people what happened in the first inning was a mistake. We saw some poor strokes. Men now are going out there to fight for the Caribbean people.
So just to let you know what has transpired in the Indian innings, the Indian scorecard reads Rohit Sharma caught by the silver of Afanaz making the breakthrough for the West Indies. Rohit getting 103 of 221 balls, 10 fours and 2 sixes, and 229 the opening partnership. They lost gear soon after when the score was on 240, caught at slip by Afanaz, that's Shubman Gill of the bowling of Warwican for just 6. And then we had that huge partnership of 110 runs between Jaiswal and Virat Kohli before Jaiswal was caught at the wicket by the wicketkeeper of Azari Joseph for 171. Remember, Jaiswal making his debut and scoring 171. 387 balls he faced, struck 16 fours and a 6. Then we saw Rahane coming in, did not last too long. He was caught at cover, bowled by Kima Roach for just 3. And they went to lunch in there with the score 400 for the loss of 4 wickets. Kohli was on 72 not out and Jadeja 21 not out. Kohli went soon after lunch, caught by Afanaz at leg slip of Cornwall for 76. He faced 182 balls and struck 5 fours.
It is said the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, The authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
In the hot sun, it's not an easy task, as you would know.
Yes, and Andy, we have to give credit to the bowlers. I think as a group they bowled very well. They stuck to the task. People had the sun yesterday. They went with all of yesterday, as you say, part of Wednesday, as well as the session this morning. So I think the bowlers have done extremely well.
Well,
and as we see the
yesterday,
West Indian batsmen coming out now, Andy.
yesterday 90 overs bowled and just 232 runs. There was a lot of containment yesterday, and they did not let India run away with the game, to their credit.
Yes, as I said, they've done very well. They stuck to the task. It was not an easy task because when you get bowled out for 150, it's not easy to run out there and bowl. So I think all the bowlers as a group, they have done very well.
The Indians, they are coming out, and we can see the two opening batsmen for the, call them batters these days. Batters, I think because of the inclusion of women,
yes,
the ICC has declared that they will be called batters. So right-handed batter. Craig Brathwaite, 164 innings, an average of 34.86, the best of 212. 86 matches he has played, and how the West Indies would wish that he scores 212.
In fact, we would love for partnership like what happened in Zimbabwe, where both of them batted for a long period. One made over 200 and the other one made 182. So I'm sure West Indians would love something like that.
207 not out. 7 matches he has played. Taj Narain's Chandapal, 12 innings, 465 runs, an average of 42.27 and 207 not out.
He's had a lean time of late, but I'm sure today could be the day, Andy, when he gets back into his groove and makes some runs.
The West Indies certainly needs a big partnership between these two for cricket on a whole. If they can last this afternoon, I can assure you that the support from the Dominican public will be fantastic. They won't let them down, but tomorrow we will have almost a full house. But the Indians, they have other ideas, as we are about to see. It looks like Mohammad Siraj operating from the Botanic Gardens end. There is Jaiswal there at first slip, Virat Kohli having a laugh at second slip, Shubman Gill at third slip, so 3 slips there, and Rahane at leg slip. Here is Siraj, bowls a delivery outside the off stump, a good one to start off, and Captain Brathwaite allows it to go through to the wicketkeeper Ishan Kishan. It's the first cycle pure Agabafi test, and it's the 99th test played between India and the West Indies. The 100th test will be played over at the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad from July 20th. Good sunshine here at Windsor Park as Siraj goes to Brathwaite. Brathwaite gets one pitched up, strokes it, playing it firmly. Bowler fields well in his follow through and prevents any chance of a run. So West Indies trail by 271 runs. West Indies will have to wipe off that deficit and try to give India some runs. But it's a distant proposition, I can tell you. First things first, got to put a partnership, string a partnership together. 3 slips, squarish cover, leg slip, extra cover, as another delivery from Siraj outside the off stump, and on this occasion Brathwaite not forced to play. Be very happy to see a few deliveries just going outside the off stump.
I think, Andy, they have to play it session by session. Right? The objective now, first to both openers look to be batting at tea time. Come back after tea, look to bat at the close of play tomorrow. Sit down tomorrow, team meeting, and work out the next plan. But the first objective, try and come back after tea without having lost any wicket.
Definitely that will be the approach. Siraj bowls a Yorker length delivery and almost yoked himself there, Brathwaite. But he dug it out and the ball goes to the man at squarish cover who fields and there is no run. Bit of cloud cover. The Indians will relish these sort of conditions, especially for their fast bowlers. Maybe would like to get that cloud cover and see if there's any swing in the making. Siraj from the Botanic Gardens end. Bowls to Brathwaite. Brathwaite covers up. Strokes it to the captain, Roach Sharma. There at short extra cover and there is no run. So very good match for Roach Sharma. Kohli would have loved to get another century. Got 2 chances. Dropped by Craig Brathwaite when he was on 40 and dropped by De Silva when he was on 72. But did not make full use of it to get him to his 29th Test century. Here is Siraj. Bowls to Brathwaite. Brathwaite covers up. A good delivery directed on the line of the off stump. Plays it on the offside. The end of the first over from Siraj, a maiden over.
Good first over from Mohammad Siraj. I think he made Craig Brathwaite play at almost every ball, and that's important as a seam bowler. You want to get the opening batsman to play at every ball, and he did that. In fact, the one particular delivery, as you said, almost yoked Craig Brathwaite. But I think it had been a very good first over from Mohammad Siraj.
He has really come into the side and he has bowled quite well for India.
In fact, ever since he came in, you remember in Australia, his father died. It was COVID time. He decided to stay on. He did very well for Australia, and ever since he has been a fixture in the Indian team.
They did not bring down Mohammad Shami, no Ishan Sharma. They've got many fast bowlers, Umesh Yadav,
yes.
Number of good fast bowlers, but it's Unadkat, left arm, bowls to Shandapur. Ball plays it on the onside and sets off for a run and gets it quite comfortably in the end. So the West Indies are on their way. Shandapur is off the mark.
The true test will come, Andy, when the spinners come on to bowl. That's when the true test will come for the batsmen.
You know that Jadeja and Ashwin, very good spinners. They have really been on top of their game lately. And it's just a matter of time before we will see these 2 bowlers in operation. I'm sure they will be on shortly. Unadkat from the river end. Goes to the right-handed batsman Brathwaite. Brathwaite covers up. Plays it on the onside. The man there, Thakur, there at mid-wicket, picks up and there is no run.
And you know, as I see Indukat, Andrew, I remember the days when India used people like Eknath Solkar and Abid Ali just to take the shine of the ball, and then you'd have people like Bedi and Prasanna and Chandrasekhar doing the damage for the rest of the overs. But in the last few years, India have produced some outstanding seam bowlers.
Well, Jadeja, as I'm watching his stats, he has taken 2 200 test wickets and also has 2,000 runs.
And after 2 overs here, umpires are now looking at the ball, and one wonders what's happening to the leather on this ball these days. And it appears that they might be changing the ball after 2 overs.
What a sight!
2 overs, and then, in fact, 1 over, and you have a change of ball. Surprising.
What balls are they using in this match? Is it the Duke or the
Kookaburra? I think it might be the Kookaburra balls. The Kookaburra is the Australian mid balls. The Duke is the English ball. So I think they're using the Kookaburra.
So I was just reading that Jadeja is the fastest to 2,000 runs and 200 wickets. He has 268, and if you add the 3 today, in the first innings, so it would be 271. Ashwin, on the other hand, Ashwin has 474, add 5 to that, 479 wickets.
So we probably will see him later in the year I think England are visiting India. So that might be he surely will get it in India if you're playing at home 500 wickets. Yeah.
Was the ball changed, Lockhart?
Yes, I think they changed the ball.
Well, that's an early change and must be a record in the change of ball. Here is Unatgat. Bowser delivery. Right in that channel there, and Brathwaite seems to have been beaten, but the way he has that method, in fact he played at it, definitely playing at it, beaten there, and fortunate not to get a touch on that delivery.
Yes. Decent crowd this afternoon in the decent crowd, like I say, about 3,000 people, Andy Carter.
Well, you're much better than I am on estimation, but it's a good crowd. I can use your adjective, a decent crowd. You can see the Clem John and Caleb Laura stand, well populated. Grayson Shillingford and Irving Shillingford stand looking good, and a few people on the Norbert Phillip and Adam Stanford stand. So Grayson Shillingford and Irving Shillingford, you would know, represented the West Indies, also Norbert Phillip and Adam Sanford, and a name not shown here is Shane Shillingford, and soon we will have something named after Alec Afanaz. But there's the Thomas Kentish stand, and we'll get back to that as Unatgat bowls a delivery on the legs of the batsman who plays to mid-wicket. Farquhar is in the way and they can score. Generally felt that with the contribution of Lockhart Sebastian, the leading run scorer for the Windward Islands and for Dominica, that somewhere his name would be etched somewhere in the stadium, but he's not a one for this sort of accolades. I'm not going to put him on the spot, I'm just mentioning it, and I won't let him respond to that whatsoever. But Lockhart has contributed immensely to Dominica, Windward Islands, and to some extent the Combined Islands. Here is Unatgat. Bowls to Brathwaite. Brathwaite is getting one which cuts back somewhat, and I think Brathwaite was looking for the ball to deviate away from him and maybe surprised there by that one coming back into him. The second over has come to an end, Brathwaite yet to score. Shandapol on 1. The West Indies won without loss, batting the second time.
Would we say that a good leave alone, as they say, Andy? That ball outside the off stump.
I think he was shocked somewhat.
Well, it came back. I mean, he apparently gets the ball to go away from the batsman as well as coming back in. And that one apparently came back very close in. And in fact, the Indian fieldsmen were wondering why he didn't hit the stumps. But a good leave alone from Undercut.
Well, I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Lockhart Sebastian. Andrew McLean will continue the commentary.
Ooh, as we look at the replay there, Andrew and now Andy and now Andrew, very close. And I want to look at it very close to the off stump. Very close shave for Craig Brathwaite. As I welcome Andrew, who just had a sumptuous lunch. I know he enjoyed it. He said that one of the in Dominica, he probably has gotten the best food as he has gone around the Caribbean. That's what I think somebody said he said. I didn't hear him say that.
Thank you very much, Lockett. Good afternoon, listeners on the Cut and Drive Network. as Mohammed Shiraz, sounds like a wine, Siraj starts in this third over of the innings and is defended by Chanderpaul, and there's no run. That was a bizarre declaration, wasn't it?
In fact, it caught everybody by surprise. In fact, normally you don't see that. When people have to declare, you see the batsmen go. In fact, Ishan scored 1 run in 20 balls.
Yeah. Here is Siraj bowling to Tangarai and Chanderpaul. It's defensively forward and there's no run.
They caught everybody by surprise. Everybody. Nobody was expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, I can only assume that Rohit was just getting frustrated that Kishan wasn't scoring any runs. So he thought, well...
Well, I think they would have discussed it at lunchtime.
You would have thought so, right?
Yeah, I think they would have discussed it.
Kind of makes you wonder why they bothered coming out after lunch. Anyway, here is Siraj bowling over the wicket to the left-handed Chanderpaul, and he's forward to a ball on the line of leg stump, plays back to Siraj, and there's no run.
I think the Indians are not really taking chances with the weather, Andrew, and they probably want to get out of here as quickly as possible tomorrow, and hence the reason why they had that sudden declaration.
We've been very lucky with the weather. I remember looking at the forecast on Tuesday, or Monday it might have been when I got here, and it wasn't looking great at that stage, but we've actually had no rain at all.
In fact, on Tuesday it definitely didn't look good, and we had a lot of rain Monday night into Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we've been very fortunate since Wednesday to get good weather.
Here's Siraj again, bowling to Chanderpaul, and that one's outside off stump. Chanderpaul thought about playing but didn't, and it was through to Ishan Kishan, who I guess he's got to be happy. He got a 1 not out.
In fact,
he hasn't
if you
got an
looked
average
at him,
yet.
he was jumping up when he went to having scored a run in Test
Oh, I
cricket.
didn't see that.
Yeah, when he
Did
got
he
to
really?
the dressing room.
Okay. Oh well. I guess that what we could do, there's a pretty good chance it's going to happen while I'm on commentary with you. What over will a spin bowler come on?
Good question. I don't think it will be long from now, Andrew.
Here's Siraj bowling to Chanderpaul. That one's down the leg side, taken by Ishan Kishan behind the stumps. And
I
there's
think
no
we'll
run.
see Ashwin and Jadeja very early in this inning. In fact, we even saw Brathwaite, Andrew, getting some turn and bounce.
Yeah. So here's Siraj, the last ball of the second over. No runs off this over so far. Bowling to a field with 3 slips. First and a second, and then probably a 4th slip. Chanderpaul faces, and there's a big gap on the offside which he's found. Jadeja gives chase, but he hasn't timed it that well, but enough time to get back for 2. So Chanderpaul moves on to 3, and at the end of the second over, when the third over I should say, it's West Indies 3 without loss. That's the latest score here at Windsor Park.
I don't know if you just looked at what Jadeja's...
Gittins Home and Garden Centre, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Centre for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Centre, from your farm to your backyard.
Cut, bowling round the wicket. There's a man in close on the leg side. That's Virat Kohli there. My eyes don't deceive me.
Well, it's Rohani at.
Sorry, it's
I think
Rohani,
the Shootman here looks like he's a shot, backward shot leg, and Rohani looks at forward shot leg.
Yeah, Rohani's at a very sort of short, straight mid-wicket.
And Taku at mid-wicket, Shadul Taku at mid-wicket.
So there's a clear plan here.
Yes.
Setting a little trap on the leg side. Here is Unad Kat bowling to Brathwaite. It's just outside the line of off stump, but he plays at that one. Defensively forward, Ashwin picks up and there's no run. So yes, Kohli's at second slip and Jaiswal at first slip. Jadeja at point, Ashwin at mid-off, Rohit at mid-on, Rahane in close at a short mid-wicket, Shubman Gill at a leg gully and sort of a square leg gully, and Thakur at square leg or forward square leg, and it's Thakur who does the fielding there. A bit of a wild return to Ishan Kishan, had to run for that one, and there's no run taken. Yeah, good crowd. Look at the Sebo. Look at the especially in the Shillingford stand, in the lower tier. Yeah, I got really annoyed online last night. So many people were criticising the crowd and the atmosphere. People were not even here, not even in Dominica.
Oh yeah. So what was the problem?
It's like, there's no atmosphere, there's no crowd, the outfield's terrible. I was like, no, it's not. Here's Unad Kat bowling to Brathwaite. Defends it up to Rohit mid-off, and there's no run.
Andrew, if people are honest from the other islands, this crowd is a very big crowd by Caribbean standards in the last 5 years. Most of the test matches that have been played around the Caribbean, you have seen empty ground. This crowd here, probably only Barbados would have surpassed that. This is a very good crowd. In the last 5 years, people who have watched test cricket around the Caribbean haven't had as many people as this. Yeah. And you can take that to the bank. These are facts, and facts are stubborn things.
Ferocious response there from Sebo. This next one from Unad Kat is left alone by Brathwaite, and there's no run. So Brathwaite yet to get off the mark. He's faced 16 deliveries.
And well, apart from England, as you know, England travel with their fans when they win the Caribbean. So you will have, in fact, we see Ashwin warming up. You will have big crowd, but in the Caribbean in the last 5 years, most grounds have been empty during test matches, and this crowd here in Dominica is a big crowd by Caribbean standards. 3,000-4,000 people is a big crowd. Apart in test cricket.
I guess having a 6-year break between tests also helps, right? And plus Athena's playing. Here's Unad Kat, that's a shorter ball, rising, but Brathwaite manages to keep it down and plays it into the ground. And that is the end of the 4th over. It's 3 without loss. It's the latest score at Windsor Park.
And it's not a weekend. The test match started on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's an island with 60,000 people. People have to go to work, and people must be real. This crowd today is a very good crowd by Caribbean people. And we keep saying it. I don't want to be repetitive, but by Caribbean standards, this is a very good crowd. And in the last 5 years, we haven't seen as many people as that in test match.
I'm just going to snap a photo here to post on Twitter later, because and everyone online on Twitter is comparing, a full sellout at Headingley to, Dominica. It's like, well, it's just not a fair comparison.
At all.
I mean, for a start, there's 60 million people in the UK.
And you have to add on the Australians as well. People from Australia going across.
Well, didn't take long. Here's Ravichandran Ashwin to bowl this is the 5th over of the innings, so just 2 from Siraj. And it's going to be Ashwin bowling round the wicket to Tangerine Chanderpaul. And that first ball, as you'd expect from Ashwin, on a sixpence, but successfully negotiated by Chanderpaul. There's Ashwin once more, and this time Chanderpaul's looking to force it up to mid-on, which he does, and it's Thakur up there who does the fielding, and there's no run. This next one, Chandler pulls forward to a ball on the line of off stump, covering any possibility of spin, and there's no run. So 3 men round the bat. We've got a Rahane at first slip, Kohli at second slip, and Jaiswal under the helmet at a very silly point. This one is driven by Chanderpool, but he can't beat the man at cover. That's Roach Sharma, the captain, and there's no run. This must be some sort of record. There's four guys out there with white floppies. You almost never see that in cricket these days. There's Chanderpool defending. Yep, there's a line of guys on the offside from backward point to mid-off, all wearing white floppy hats.
You don't normally see that,
No.
as you say.
In fact, I think Ashwin's wearing one as well. So I think there might be 5 of them. Here he is, Ashwin, last ball of his first over to Chanderpool, and he just plays that one into the ground, rolls to backward point, where Gill does the fielding, and there's no run. So at the end of the 5th over, very sedate start here by the West Indies. 3 without loss. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Good first over from Ravichandran Ashwin. Usual just bowling is normal, ideal length, having the batsman to come forward. And Andrew, as you said, sedate start, and we now see Ravin, the other side of the spin twin, Jadeja, coming from the northern end. So we're going to see a diet of spin for the next 2 hours.
I have a feeling these two will bowl for the rest of the day.
Well, maybe not. Well, unless the wickets are tumbling. But if they don't, we might see them bowling most of the overs in this inning. Look at Jadeja's average 24. Outstanding.
Yeah, he averages 24 and Ashwin's like 23.96. So that's just a remarkable thing. How does Ashwin get left out of the side? It's just...
He's always been unlucky, and I always wonder why.
What a great problem to have.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, Axar Patel, he averages 19. Plus he
And
can
he can bat as well.
He's a good batsman.
He can bat.
Right, so it's going to be Brathwaite just taking guard from umpire Michael Goff, who's now standing at the river end of the ground. Here is Jadeja bowling round the wicket to Brathwaite. And just lets that one go through to the keeper, wide of off stump, and there's no run. Oh, there's some turn and bounce there already, just looking at that one on replay. Of course, it's a hard ball, it's just 5 overs old. Here is Jadeja bowling to Brathwaite. Forward, covering any spin possibility there, and there's no run. There's Jadeja once more. That's on the line of leg stump, and Brathwaite plays it defensively. Just the 2 men on the leg side for Jadeja. We've got Ashwin at mid-on and Takor at a very short long leg, or sometimes it's called the 45 angle position. So he's just there for maybe the top edge sweep possibly. Otherwise it's a packed offside field. On the Botanical Gardens side of the ground, the scoreboard side, here's Jadeja close to the stumps, on the line of the stumps. Brathwaite's forward defending, and there's no run. Oh, this is a bit unusual for Chanderpool and Brathwaite as well, to be facing 2 spinners
So
in the
early.
5th and 6th over of the innings. Here's another ball. Good line from Jadeja. So a very tidy first over from Jadeja. It's a maiden. West Indies 3 without loss. It's the latest score here at Windsor Park.
And Andrew, we're going to be seeing a lot of that, men coming forward.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
left-hander batting against the left-arm spinner.
Here is Ashwin bowling to Chanderpool, all that bounces and turns, and he beats. It was only a half-hearted shot from Chanderpool, but really bounced. I guess he was covering the line of his off stump. That was his first thought. Anyway, he remains there. Here is Ashwin, wide of the crease, bowling around the wicket. Chanderpool looks to work that one away on the leg side, but he can only find Unadkat at backward square, and there's no run. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, they're leaving mid-wicket open at both ends. There's an obvious place to try and score a run and rotate the strike. Here's Ashwin to Chanderpool, and he looks to drive, and there's a ooh and an ah from the Indian fielders, but that was all the way along the ground to backward point. Well, slightly in the air, well, not really. No, there was no danger there as here is Ashwin once more. Gets his foot right out by the return crease, bowling on the angle into the left-handed Chanderpool, who plays that defensively, and there's no run. So 3 without loss, coming towards the end of the 7th over, so slow progress from the West Indies, but I guess the key factor is they've got 10 wickets left, so it's Ashwin to Chanderpool, and he's defending. Roach at a short cover, fields that one, and there's no run. This time Chanderpool's driving fluently out through extra cover and out to the boundary for 4. So that's released some of the tension. Chanderpool moves on to 7, and it was a lovely shot.
A very good stroke, and as you said, and they have to rotate the strike. You can't keep pushing and prodding because one of them might have your name on it. One might bounce and turn. So lovely stroke. That's what you want to see. When you get the half volleys and the long half, put them away and try and rotate the strike.
That's the 7 without loss. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yes, the batsmen they have to rotate the strike because ideally, from a West Indian point of view, you would want to see Craig Brathwaite batting against Ashwin and Chanderpool batting against Jadeja.
Exactly. But yeah, so once again, there's a massive gap at mid-wicket here. So let's see if Brathwaite can find it. So even there, he just defended it. He didn't punch it. So Kishan was able to get there and cut off a run, and he's a wicket keeper. So let's see what happens here. Here's Jadeja bowling to Brathwaite. He's forward. Thickish outside edge along the ground. So that's Shubman Gill out there, and there's no run. Oh, sorry, Gill is under the helmet, so it's not him. That runner's just coming in with the arm from Ravindra Jadeja. But just outside the line of Craig Brathwaite's off stump, and there's through to the keeper and no run.
Siraj seems to be off the field, Andrew.
Here's Brathwaite's forward to the next one. Quite sure what happened there, whether it came off his pad or perhaps it was a drop catch.
Yeah,
so Isham Kishan dropped that one. It was an outside edge. It wasn't a difficult take. Got a glove to it, but it dropped straight out. So life for Craig Brathwaite as he defends the next one. Just having another look at this one, Cebu. Yeah. Hit the shoulder of the bat, and I think Kishan was standing up too. He was too high. He didn't stay down enough. He got up too quickly. Yeah. It's like your alarm going off and just jumping out of bed. Here's another one that's turning from Jadeja, and Kishan didn't glove that either, and it had to be taken by Rahane at first slip. But so an eventful over, a chance, and it's 7 without loss. That's the latest score here at Windsor Park.
In fact, Andrew, that ball didn't even touch the bat. It was spun, it bounced, and went straight to first slip. And it's not going to be fun batting out this afternoon. The ball is turning, it is bouncing, and it's not going to be easy batting. And the batsmen really have to fight and battle on, because it's not going to be easy.
You know, and this comes back to the point that Sir Curtly Ambrose was making on the first day. He said, I just don't understand why they prepare a pitch like this. It doesn't suit our side at all. You know, I'm not happy about it. You know, so there's a definite edge there for that Kishan one. Here's Ashwin starting a new over, bowling to Tangarayan Chanderpaul, and he's defensively forward, playing it to Rohit at short cover, and there's no run. Thank you, Sebos, making way for Darren Ganga, who's coming in, as Ashwin starts his run, but stopped his run after that for some reason, maybe just making a change to the field. And here is Ashwin bowling to Tangarayan Chanderpaul. He's forward, there's no run. Good afternoon, Darren.
Afternoon, Andrew. Afternoon to all your listeners. Nice, intriguing day's play before us. WestIndies still trail by 264 runs. A mammoth task for Brathwaite and Chanderpaul with the bat.
Here's Ashwin to Chanderpaul, and there's a pattern emerging here. Ashwin's just bowling short of a length at the moment. Chanderpaul's playing into the offside. Obviously trying to bring these close catches into play. Silly point, very silly point. 2 slips, and also Rohit at short cover. So a lot of pressure building here. Here's Ashwin to Chanderpaul, but he keeps that one down. But that's last over from Jadeja. From Jadeja, just evidence of what's potentially to come. Here's Ashwin, and Chanderpaul's defending.
Not surprisingly, in the 5th over, Roach Sharma introducing spin, and both his champion spinners are operating at the moment. And you did mention that over from Jadeja, being able to extract bounce, turn, with pace as well.
Here's Ashwin, and Chanderpaul plays from the crease this time, and that's the end of the over. It's 7 without loss. That's the latest score from Windsor Park. Yeah, and we've seen Ishan Kishan put one down, and the very next ball, he didn't even glove it, so it's not going to be easy for him either, actually.
Yeah, both the wicketkeeper, the batters, of course, will be challenged with the conditions. That's why India took such a long time to bat in that first innings. To get to 421 for 5, it required a certain type of application, something different to what we've been seeing in the recent Ashes series. And again, that is where you define yourself as a test match batter, your ability to adapt, to adjust to conditions, to use all your experience and skills so that you can churn runs out. We saw that from Sharma, we saw that from Jaiswal, we saw that from Kohli. It's time now for the West Indies to put their hands up and to show a similar type of quality.
Here's Jadeja beginning a new over to Brathwaite, and he scampers through for a single. He hit that just wide to the left of Thakur at backward square. So just as Sebo and I mentioned the previous over from Jadeja, there's a huge gap on the leg side, and the West Indies have to be looking to rotate the strike to at least give the bowler something to think about.
Yeah, and again, it's not an impossible task. I think it's important for us to say that the lead before the start of this second innings by the West Indies, 271. And what you saw from the batters in the Indian side who scored runs, they trusted their defense, they applied themselves. They never thought about the pitch being a factor that they will fear.
Here's Jadeja persisting with the line around the wicket to the left-handed Chanderpaul.
So just saying with that conversation, it's about trusting your ability as a player, ensuring that you have a plan, and then be determined about applying it and executing it.
Here's Jadeja once more. It's a straighter delivery to Chanderpaul. There's no run. Very interesting field here, Darren. Just the two men to the left on the offside to Chandapal. Oh, it's three including the slip. Here's... Oh, this looks very close. Yes. Chandapal struck on the pad, but he's reviewed it straight away. But although we're not sitting directly in line, that looked pretty good to me.
Well, you can understand why Tejaran Chandapal, I beg your pardon, reviewed that decision. It's because Jadeja is bowling from round the wicket. Oftentimes, it's very difficult for you to get an LBW decision as a left-arm finger spinner from round the wicket because of the angle. One thing he's got to ensure is that that ball pitches in line with the stumps, and of course the impact remains in line with the stumps. It's very difficult to achieve that, especially if there's a degree of turn on the ball, which is what we're seeing at the moment. So I feel this is a good review by Tejaran Chandapal and the West Indies. We'll have to wait and see what the outcome is.
Yeah, so clearly no bat involved. Wow, I'm talking like a third umpire now. It's pitched directly on middle, but has it turned enough? Umpire's call. Oh, so it's out. So it's just clipping the outside of leg stump, top of leg stump. So unfortunate for Chandapal there. He almost got it right, but nonetheless he was beaten by a good ball there from Jadeja, and Chandapal makes his way back to the pavilion for just 7. So it's a huge blow for the West Indies.
Very much so, and so unfortunate for Tejaran Chandapal. Again, as I mentioned before, there would have been doubts in the mind of the umpire, Michael Goff, with that delivery. As we saw, there was turn away from Tejaran Chandapal, and when I say away, down the leg side, the ball pitched in line, and because of that turn, it missed the full face of the bat that he presented. So the umpire had to determine the degree of turn, whether or not that degree of turn was just enough to follow that ball to make contact with the stumps, or with the angle would have gone on to miss the stumps.
Well, the other thing I suppose that favours Jadeja, and the umpire will be well aware of it because Michael Goff stands quite a long way back from the stumps, is how wide on the crease he delivers it from. So even though there's a big angle towards the offside, it then have to turn quite a bit to miss the stumps.
And miss the bat as well.
Yeah, and miss the bat,
and knowing fully well, given what we've seen in the previous 2 days, there's appreciable turn from the surface. So to judge and negotiate the degree of turn is also a very challenging thing for an umpire to do.
Just a technical point, Darren, for maybe our listeners. So what happened there was the ball was definitely in line. It definitely didn't hit the bat, and then it was a question of whether it was going to hit the stumps, and it's umpire's call. What actually does that mean?
Well, it means to say that the ball, based on ball tracking, did go on to hit a part of the stumps.
Right.
So it means that that decision was a marginal decision.
Right.
And because it was given out, it remained the umpire's call, and that's according to the DRS review system and the sort of parameters within which the rules are applied.
Right. So here is Jadeja to the new batsman Reefer, and there's no run. But does that factor in the fact that the technology is not exactly perfect? Is that the reason? Because I mean, it's either hitting or not, right? Here's Jadeja bowling to Reefer, who looks to work that behind square, and there's no run.
Yeah, it's a guide, it's a support system for umpires to ensure that accurate decisions are made. And I think generally speaking, players and all stakeholders in the game of cricket, they welcome technology being used to provide more accurate decision making. So you don't also want to eliminate that human element of the umpires making decisions. So it's a balancing act. It's something that world cricket has embraced, and it's the way forward in decision making as it relates to the umpires on players.
Yeah.
So wicket down for the West Indies. New batter in, that of Raymond Reefer, alongside his captain, Craig Brathwaite. Of course, this is going to be an examination for Raymond Reefer as well, batting at number 3. There's been a lot of debate about his ability to bat in that position. Take nothing away from him as a player, an all-round player, but that has a specific sort of responsibility to it, batting at number 3.
So it's going to be Ashwin once more, over the wicket this time to Brathwaite. And I think that's the first ball Brathwaite's faced of Ashwin. I saw him taking guard, like Chandapal's father used to do, like with a hammer whacking the bail into the ground. And there's no run off that first ball. It's Ashwin, and this time Brathwaite works that behind square. Jaiswal's quite deep there. Oh! He's thrown it. It's completely missed everyone, and there's a chase out to the boundary, and there's 2 bonus runs for Craig Brathwaite there. So 1 becomes 3. So it's about the first thing Jaiswal's done wrong all match. Let's have a look at this again. He's thrown it. It's gone way over the keeper's head. There's no one behind. Thakur had to run out to the boundary to pick it up. We'll forgive him that. He did make a brilliant 100.
It happens sometimes. Luckily for India, they've started this innings with 271 runs ahead.
Here's Ashwin bowling to Reefer, the left-handed this time. It's a short and it turned a little bit, and Reefer guided it away to... I'm seeing Brathwaite's dismissal in the first innings. Not sure why they're showing that while the captain's out there. Giving him a nightmare.
Just reminding him what not to do
yeah.
in the second innings.
Perhaps, yeah. Here's Ashwin bowling to Reefer, and he edges that through the slips along the ground, and Jaiswal comes round to pick it up, but not before Brathwaite scampers through to get down to the striker's end comfortably, and it's a run for Reefer. He's off the mark.
Just to give our listeners a chance to understand what Ashwin is doing to the right-handed Craig Brathwaite, is something very similar to what Jadeja is doing to the left-handed batters, bowling straight lines with a skewed onside feel.
Here is a short of a ball, a little wider off stump. Brathwaite tries to cut, but he can only find the man at mid-off. So there's a man at backward point and a man at mid-off, and a massive gap.
And just a slip. So there is a leg gully, there is a short leg, there's a short mid-wicket as well. Catching.
Here's Ashwin bowling to Brathwaite. He's stretching forward, covering any possible spin, plays it safely into the ground. That is the end of the over. It's 12 for 1, the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yeah, and what?
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
To the left-hander in that of Raymond Reefer, and Ashwin, of course, the right-arm off-spinner, doing it to the right-handed Brathwaite.
Here's the left arm round the wicket of Jadeja, bowling to Reefer, and he defends. So yes, there's a short leg and a leg slip and a short mid-wicket, and this time Jadeja beats the outside edge of Reefer, but also beats Kishan, and it's running down towards the boundary, and they come back for 2. I think this is going to be byes. Just watch for Michael Goff. Yes, it's byes. So Kishan not having a great match. I've been quite kind to him so far, but he's just been untidy. He's dropped a lot, missed a lot. I don't know exactly how many byes he let through. I forget, but
No, but it's important to point out that last delivery just ran straight with the angle from round the wicket.
Right.
going across the left-handed reefer. Another delivery that was pitched in line with the stump, this time turning into reefer. He worked it through the onside. So therein lies the challenge. When you're facing a left-arm bowler from round the wicket, you're often thinking that the ball is turning into you as a left-handed batter, so you're trying to play through the onside. But it's that delivery that runs on straight that is a real problem.
Here's Jadeja again, and reefer's forward. Actually, I read a tweet from Anand Vasu just during the lunch or during the innings break, and he basically said that Jadeja's, I'll come back to that as he comes in now, Jadeja to reefer, forces that one, but it hits it straight back to the bowler. But he said that Jadeja is the best in the world at bowling the ball that doesn't spin when the batsman thinks it's going to spin.
Yeah, he's right. He's very right. And that's a delivery that gets wickets.
Here's Jadeja. This is on the line of leg stump. Reefer guides it to backward point or backward square leg where, who's that down there? Is that Ashwin down there, I think? No, it's not Ashwin.
That's Mohammad Siraj, I reckon.
Is it Siraj?
Yeah,
it was Siraj, yeah. So that's the end of the over. It's 14 with 1. 14 for 1. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Must also mention that you talk about Jadeja and him using that arm ball which runs on straight, doesn't have a lot of revs, that doesn't turn. But this surface as well is offering turn when it's pitched in a certain area, and that's because of the nature of the turf, the lack of water, and the explosions that we've seen.
Here's Ashwin bowling to the right-handed Craig Brathwaite, who's on 4 off 34 balls, and he just defends that to short leg. So, yeah, so for Ashwin now we've got Kohli at leg slip, we've got Shubman Gill under the helmet at short leg, and Rahane at slip. Here is Ashwin, and Brathwaite works that into the gap. So that's what I like to see, where there's an opportunity, rotate the strike, and he's down the other end. Brings the left-handed reefer onto strike. But what you were saying before, Darren, about spinning in, I mean, I didn't play it at any level, but I did used to bowl off spin, and there was nothing better than bowling a right-hander.
Yep.
Just through the gate.
Yep.
It was always so satisfying. Beat them at the flight. Here is Ashwin bowling to reefer. He defends to row it at cover, and there's no run.
And just to finish that point I was making, it's not necessarily the skill of the bowler in these conditions here at Windsor Park. The pitch is offering so much too for spin bowlers.
Here is Ashwin bowling to reefer. He's defensively forward, and there's no run.
And for Ashwin, the reason why he's such a good bowler is the fact that he's able to fuse his variations in terms of skill and the type of deliveries that he has with pace variations as well.
Here is Ashwin bowling to reefer. He works that behind square. And there's no run. And of course he's done this many times before, right? He's got 474 wickets before this match, plus 5 in the first innings. So yeah, he knows exactly how to do it. This is a great shot though by reefer. Down on one knee, sweeping out to the boundary before, to the delight of the fans in the Shillingford's stand. So that's the end of the 13th over. It's 19 for 1. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yeah, and just to mention, I was talking about pace variation from Ashwin. That delivery was a little bit slower, and to Reefer's credit, he was able to pick that slowness. That's why he just dropped that back leg, waited on the delivery, had enough time to pick his spot, and just played that horizontal bat stroke in front of square for 4. So the more they accumulate runs, the more they rotate strike, the greater the confidence in that of Reefer and Brathwaite. That's the sort of rhythm and tempo that will take the West Indies out of this hole of a deficit.
Yeah, and also it does confidence for him, right, to hit one right in the middle, right? So against an absolute great of the game in Ashwin. Right, so we're going to have so now we've got for Brathwaite we've got a short leg in as well. So now we've got just 2 men on the leg side. It's Jaiswal under the helmet at short leg and Ashwin at mid on. So packed offside field. Here's Jadeja to Brathwaite. He's back playing from the crease. picks out the only man in front of the wicket the only man not in close on the onside, and there's no run. Here he is again. This time it's a bit wider from Jadeja, and Brathwaite just dabs that one, bounces off the hand of Kohli at second slip, and takes all the pace off it, and there's no run.
Yeah, Brathwaite has to be mindful of his preciseness of his foot movements.
Here he is looking to sweep this time, gets a bottom edge there, but there's no one behind square on the leg side, so he's able to get through for a single and rotate the strike to bring the left-handed reefer onto strike.
And the reason why I talk about Brathwaite's foot movement, he's been found out on a couple of occasions playing from the crease, neither forward nor backwards in terms of his body positioning, and especially with Ravi Jadeja bowling wicket-to-wicket lines, you don't want to be trapped LBW.
Here's reefer this time, playing a ball on leg stump into the ground. It may have actually hit the fieldsman on the offside, and reefer kindly picked the ball up for Shubman Gill. It's back to Jadeja, gets through his overs very quickly, bowling to reefer, who's forward. He's a very tall man, reefer, and so he's got a long reach, and played that one comfortably.
And psychologically, seeing 2, 3, 4 fielders close to you when you're batting, that's a challenge for you to overcome.
Here is reefer working that one. This time there's a man at deep mid-wicket, so the West Indies' response to reefer's shot off Ashwin in the previous over is to put a man back for Jadeja. And that's the end of Jadeja's over. 14 overs gone. It's 21 for 1, the latest score at Windsor Park.
So far these two look very comfortable at the crease. Captain Craig Brathwaite, Raymond Reefer, of course, showing a positive outlook in his approach to batting, quite decisive with his foot movements. He's playing forward with confidence. He plays back as well with that confidence, despite us seeing a bit of variable bounce from the surface and variable turn as well. So good signs for the West Indies. They're now trailed by 250, slowly reducing that lead that India has.
Here is Ashwin bowling to reefer. And there's no runners. Rohit Sharma fields that one at cover.
At some point in time, Rohit Sharma will be thinking about their seamers as well, and that option.
Here is Ashwin bowling to reefer. It's on the line of the stumps, and reefer just defends back to the bowler.
The other thing that India can't do is become impatient with their quest for more wickets.
Here is reefer again, working this one to backward square. It's fielded there by Jaiswal, and there's no run. Random question, Darren, did you wear a floppy or a cap?
Cap, test cap, because a lot of times I was called to feel under the helmet.
Ah, let's see. Here's Ashwin, and reefer is defending to backward point, and there's no run. As I noticed when they came out, there was four guys wearing floppies.
Now that is diminished to 2.
It's down to, yeah, it's 2 now, yeah. Here is Ashwin bowling to reefer. An ooh and an ah there. He came forward, and the ball lobbed towards Shubman Gill at silly point. I think that may have come off the pad. Let's have another look at this. Oh no, yeah, bat pad. Inside edge onto the pad, but just didn't quite carry to Shubman Gill. Oh, very close.
Yeah, half chance you would say.
Yeah.
He's reaching forward to his left, just touch the fingertips.
Here is Ashwin bowling to reefer, and that's played from the crease. So yeah, very close call there for reefer. That's the end of the 15th over. It's 21 for 1, and that is the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yeah, Andrew.
Darren, thank you very much for your time again today.
Thank you for having me. To all your listeners, of course, the West Indies in dire straits in this very first Test match. Again, with an opportunity here to show character, to show their resolve, batting the second time around. I know that Craig Brathwaite will reflect on that decision to bat first in this test match and know fully well that they underperformed in that first innings, scoring 150. But I think it's a balancing act with the target that they're looking for and the number of overs that they eventually bat.
This next ball from Jadeja to Brathwaite is just outside the line of this off stump, and Brathwaite plated it, but it turned and it was taken by Ishan Kishan behind the stumps. So Brathwaite surrounded by men, 4 close catches. Here is Jadeja bowling to Brathwaite, and he just defends it, and it's picked up there by Jadeja on his follow through. As I welcome back Lockhart Sebastian.
Yes, Andrew, West Indies keep on fighting.
Here's Jadeja to Brathwaite, and he manages to beat short leg. That gives him time to take a single. So Brathwaite moves on to 7 off 42 balls. With him is Reefer, 6 off 23 balls. West Indies 22 for 1. This is the 16th over, and it's Jadeja bowling it from the river end of Windsor Park. There's Jadeja, that's on the line of leg stump, and Reefer is playing from the crease, but right into the centre of his bat, and it's fielded at short leg and there's no run. There's Jadeja closer to the stumps this time, and it's a straight delivery. Reefer defends once more, so West Indies trailing by 249 after India declared somewhat surprisingly 21 minutes after lunch with a lead of 271. As this next one from Reefer is defended. That's the end of the 16th over.
It is said the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
He could play into and pick up some runs. Here's Brathwaite, that one's turning into him, and he tries to play that down the leg side, and he just goes along the ground to Virat Kohli at leg slip, and there's no run.
And you know, Craig Brathwaite has immense powers of concentration, Andrew. He could do that for the next 3 days.
If he's still doing it, is Ashwin bowling. Oh, and he's gone. Ashwin comes round the wicket to Brathwaite, bowls a ball just on the line of off stump. He plated it, nicked it straight to Njinka Rahane at first slip, and Brathwaite's on his way just after Cebu said that he could bat all day or bat for 3. He gets out the very next ball.
Commentators curse Andrew. I'm just saying how he has immense powers of concentration to bat for the next 3 days, and the next ball he gets out. Good delivery though from Ashwin. Very good delivery.
Yeah, he didn't really do anything wrong there, Brathwaite. He was just for the benefit of the listeners, Ashwin's coming round the wicket, So an off spinner bowling round the wicket, the ball went on, didn't turn, possibly even moved away slightly, took the edge. But I have to be careful what I say because I haven't played cricket to any level, but I often found as an off spinner, when I went round the wicket with the angle, that actually happened quite frequently.
Yes, it has.
Just the angle of the ball.
And you know, Ashwin has.
Gittins Home and Garden Centre, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Centre for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Centre, from your farm to your backyard.
But it's just getting a little bit cloudy here at Windsor Park. It's a little bit cloudy. And it's going to be Blackwood. Ashwin's going to come round the wicket. It's interesting. Blackwood hasn't faced a ball yet, and there's still a man on a deep mid-wicket boundary. Man 3/4 of the way back at mid-on. So let's see what Ashwin does here. That's Blackwood facing Ashwin. That was a straight one, and they take off for a quick single as it's played to back just behind square. Mohammad Siraj can't stop the single. So successful over for Ashwin. He has 1 for 14 off his 7 overs, and the West Indies are 23 for 2. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yes, and West Indies, to say they're in trouble is an understatement, Andrew. They're a deficit of 271, 23 for 2. 2 spinners, top of the game, really in trouble. And the batsmen, as I said, they have to fight. We saw both batsmen not really giving away the wickets, getting out with good balls. It's only a few minutes before tea. We expect Blackwood and Rifer to bat on. We don't expect any injudicious shots before tea. It's only probably 2 more overs before tea time.
Well, based on Blackwood's form from the first innings, that's not a guarantee, Cebu. He hit out, tried to beat Loft over mid-off 1 minute before lunch on the first day. I suspect he won't do that again. So it is going to be Blackwood facing the left arm orthodox spin of Jadeja, and Blackwood immediately guides that one. Fine leg glance down the leg side. It's going to race away for 4, I think. Not quite. Good chase there from the Indians, and they get back for 3. So good running there from Rifer and Blackwood. Blackwood gets off the mark with a tidy leg glance and just inside the boundary. Very good chase there from Rahane. So Jadeja's going to change his line now to the left-handed Rifer. He's going to go over the wicket, rolling to Rifer. That one's on the line of middle stump. It's defended by Rifer. It's no run. So this is the first first time Jadeja's gone over the wicket to left or right-hander so far in this innings. As Rifer defends the next one up to Rohit at mid-wicket, and there's no run. Blackwood just doing some stretches at the non-striker's end as Jadeja goes a little bit wider on the crease that time. Rifer looking to work it away down the leg side. Virat Kohli's there at leg slip, and in fact it just glanced the thigh pad, and once again Ishan Kishan dropped the ball, and that's why it finished up in the hands of Kohli. This time Reefer works it in front of square. Man comes round, that's Takor, and Reefer gets a single. So Reefer moves on to 7, Blackwood's there on 4. It's the last ball of the 18th over coming up, and India now have 3 slips for Blackwood. 3 slips, silly point, and a short cover. There's Jadeja round the wicket, and Blackwood has been caught. No, has it been dropped? What's happened there?
I think it pushed forward.
Must have been dropped. Anyway, that is the end of the over. It's 27 for 2, the latest score at Windsor.
Through mentorship and guidance, let us provide support to those who may feel lost or tempted by the wrong path. Remember, conflict resolution is key. Instead of resorting to violence, let us learn to communicate effectively, to listen, and to find common ground. Together, we can create a Grenada where our dreams can flourish and our talents can shine. This message was brought to you by the New National Party, your voice in shaping the future of Grenada.
Point where it's picked up by Siraj and there's no run. This time Reefer is playing with an angled bat, running it to backward point, and there's no run. Yeah, I mean, of all the I can't think of a situation that more suits India than this right now. Or as Reefer defends the next one from Ashwin. Or I mean, like, these conditions, would there be another team that the West Indies would less rather face than India right now in this situation? Here's this one's an edge from Reefer, but I don't think it carried through to Kohli. That second slip.
What we need, Andrew, more firm pitches in the current, wickets with more grass. Because you're playing against India, if you get a wicket with little grass, you're going to have some problem. In fact, it's close to being a catch.
Yeah, I think it actually came off as pad, but Kohli did well at second slip to snaffle that one, but I think it came off Reefer's pad. Here's Ashwin bowling to Reefer, and he's defending into the leg side, and there's no run.
What I would like to see around the Caribbean, more pitches with more grass, firmer, hard, true pitches. We don't want to see too many pitches with this little amount of grass in it.
This one is on the line of off stump from Ashwin to Reefer. He defends, negotiates that safely, and that is the maiden over from Ashwin. He's got 1 for 14 off 8, and that is the tea break here at Windsor Park. West Indies 27 for 2 after trailing by 271 on the first innings. So just before I go to the tea time summary, Sebu, some thoughts on what you've seen in this post-lunch session?
Well, India took us by surprise for the first with the declaration. Nobody expected them to declare at that time. We know it was not going to be easy in the second inning on that pitch against Ashwin and Jadeja. We expected them to come on early. That has happened. 2 wickets have been lost. And it's not going to be fun, as I said, batting against Ashwin and Jadeja on that pitch with his turning and bouncing.
Yeah, the point I was trying to make, I was sort of stumbling for my words, but I can't think of a team that's better suited to exploit these conditions than India.
And you have 2 of the greatest spinners in world cricket now. Ashwin, a world great, 480 wickets now.
480.
Jadeja, close to 300. You don't want to be batting against these guys on a turning pitch. It's definitely not going to be easy.
Thank you for your thoughts, Lockhart.
The first first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, at Classic Furniture, they design and make the best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it, and make it to your expectations. The highest standards at the best possible price, and they also provide higher purchase for you, their valued customers. Located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville, with their factory at Chantimel in St. Patrick. That's where you need to visit when looking for products made of the finest local wood. They deliver and install items at no extra cost. Your satisfaction is their mission. The extra step is taken to ensure their customers are completely satisfied. They do doors and finished kitchens, supplies mattresses, and restores antique pieces to look like the first day they were made. Hey, give us a call on 442-4645 and 442-9726. Classic Furniture, Grenada's homegrown furniture producers.
In our part of the world, we need to be prepared for natural disasters like storms and hurricanes, even outside of the season. I'm sure you'll agree that keeping our loved ones, homes, and businesses safe is important. So, I came up with a few quick tips to help you stay safe. Familiarize yourself with your electrical panel, as it may be necessary to switch off the power during a storm or flood. Make sure you install a transfer or isolation switch to prevent your generator feeding electricity to Grenlec's line. If trees are too close to power lines, call Grenlec at 237 for advice. By following these easy steps, you will be well on your way to being hurricane ready. Don't be caught off guard by natural disasters. Prepare now. For more information, visit grenlec.com.
Carriacou is the place to be, August 4th to the 7th, for the 50th year of the Carriacou Regatta Festival. The Carriacou Regatta Festival, which is the longest sailing event in the region, is celebrated under the theme, Timeless Culture on the Sea. Come join us for 4 days of exciting and competitive boat racing from Friday to Monday. Fun games, day and night parties, road marathon, Miss Teen Regatta, night boat cruises, the foreign artist show, donkey race, and greasy pole are some of the activities to look forward to. For more info, contact the Regatta Jooper on 473-443-7930. The Carriacou Regatta Festival 2023, August 4th to the 7th. Sail by day, party by night. Carriacou welcomes you.
The Gynecological Cancer and Prevention Clinic advises the general public that its office located in Main Street, Satires, will be opened on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The oncologist, Dr. Santos, now attends every Thursday by appointments only. The ophthalmologist, or eye doctor, attends every 15th of the month. Call us to book an appointment today on 423-3352 or 444-4272.
Carriacou, the Regatta Lime is on. This Sunday, 16 July, we head to Windward, next to the fisheries, from 2 p.m. It's a true kayak festival with that authentic kayak vibe. Be part of sailing, mango eating competition, beer drinking competition, buns and coke, swimming races, musical chairs, and appearance by Miss Regatta teen contestants. So this Sunday, after family lunch, we head to Windward, next to the fisheries, for the Regatta Lime. Sunday, 16 July.
Hello, Bossy, ready?
Yeah, boy.
Mash up progress, man.
Let me sit down now. All right, yeah.
Ula, 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 Now tell me what we shaking.
My name's Winnie Pooh, and I would like to hear y'all sing Black Barbie.
Black Barbie, Black Barbie, Black Barbie. I meant to do it in a different way. A new
and you know they can't stop 6 runs.
They call it can't be boss and nothing.
Hand up, everybody hand up, everybody hand up, everybody hand up. What? Hear it, I'm going to let what the boss inside the air. Everybody jump in, we in charge. I'm going to turn up the boss inside the air. Everybody with it, we at last. Oh, they go stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, they cannot stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, oh, they go stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, they cannot stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, mama you better want them. Take heed, I come to give some problems. Better believe, already this is my turn. I'm the young king, they should know what to expect. No, are they on the scene? And when I reach in the place, rats in the air. And when I reach on the stage, say everything up to it. I'm going to let what the boss inside the air. Everybody jump in, we in charge. I'm going to turn up the boss inside the air. Everybody with it, we at last. Oh, they go stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, they cannot stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, oh, they go stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, they cannot stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs. Yes, I still in school, but I don't easy. Since the mommy belly, I have a busy. Once I feel the music play, I get it jumpy. This one is for you, mommy. And when I reach in the place, rats in the air. And when I reach on the stage, say everything up to it. I'm going to let what the boss inside the air. Everybody jump in, we in charge. I'm going to turn up the boss inside the air. Everybody with it, we at last. Oh, they go stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, they cannot stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, oh, they go stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, they cannot stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, oh, they go stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, they cannot stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, oh, they go stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs, they cannot stop it. 6 runs, 6 runs. 6 runs, 6 runs. 6 runs, 6 runs. 6 runs, 6 runs. 6 runs, 6 runs.
Are you ready? Shake one again. What are you doing? Tell me no. What are you doing? Tell me no. What are you doing? Hope all you ready for the mass. We everywhere, no matter what the cost. Me and all my friends are from my class. It's like an exam we about to pass. Roll call, no. Trouble, trouble, trouble. That's like giving trouble. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Sounds like giving trouble. Trouble, trouble, trouble. What's like giving trouble? Trouble, trouble, trouble. It's like giving trouble. Fling up something, push up something, jump on something, climb on something. Fling up something, push up something, belt up something, wave up something. Since morning I gone, I don't have no plans to reach back home until the fed done. Well, hold on, cause anyway the master, I did right there, right there, I did right there, right there, I did right there, right there. Anyway the bacchanal there, find me right there, find me right there, right there. Roll call, no. Trouble, 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 not like giving trouble. Trouble, 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 sounds like giving trouble. Trouble, 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 what's like giving trouble? Trouble, 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 it's like giving trouble. Fling up something, push up something, jump on something, climb on something. Fling up something, push up something, belt up something, wave up something. When it comes to matching up, we don't play.